If you fully understand the universal truth behind the 369, your life will transform into divine harmony from the inside out. The 369 is the trinity of vibrational codes, and absorbing it causes a shift in energy. The world responds and conforms to our vibration, shifting to match it. We don't fight and struggle for the desires of our hearts. We simply match the vibration of its attainment, and it comes of its own accord. That is the effortless way. The golden vibration of the 369 is the hand of Midas, which turns everything it touches to gold. The vibration of the 369 turns everything it touches into harmony. After watching this video, you will have a clear understanding of how the unseen universe operates and how to use it to your advantage to obtain your desires effortlessly. If you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, then you would have the key to the universe. Man is a microcosm of the universe. The key to the universe is the 3, 6, 9. It is also the key to the human being, since man is a microcosm of the universe. The universe, like a computer software, is run on numbers. The numeral arrangement or sequences of numbers result in what is created. We see this in the film Matrix, where behind the scenes, reality is in fact made up of numbers which form codes. These codes dictate what is seen and how reality is experienced. The 369 is a divine arrangement of numbers which translates to a specific vibration which attracts all good things to itself. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. In other words, vibration, which is at the basis of creation, has a unique numeral makeup tied to it. As the vibration fluctuates from high to low, positive to negative, be assured that its numeral equivalence also fluctuates to match it. They are one and the same. They are substance and shadow. They correspond to one another. This is a complex code that would take more time to decipher than most are willing to put in. So suffice it to simplify its understanding by looking at this creation through a visual lens. The coding behind a website such as YouTube is only seen by tech professionals, while you enjoy beautiful visual and auditory rendition. In simple terms, a file which contains a coded vibration is extracted, read, and processed by the computer to display its visual interpretation as the video you enjoy. File rearranged is life. I learned this from Bro Sanchez. Our life expresses into reality based on the coding or vibration we have inscripted within. In other words, our vibe attracts our life. The closer to the divine ratio your internal coding is, the better the quality of life you enjoy. There is no clearer example of this than through cymatics. A vibratory frequency is put through a plate and it gives rise to a physical manifestation based on the coding. This invisible arrangement of matter always corresponds to the vibration and its coding. A change in vibration is a change in the arrangement of matter. The vibration of the 369 gives rise to harmonious structures. When we integrate this vibration into ourselves, our life also harmonizes itself into a beautiful structure. Things begin to fall into place of their own accord. By raising our vibration, by shifting our energy, frequency, and vibration, our coding begins to climb to reach the 369. This is how we create with the 369. So how to raise our vibration is what needs to be studied. The world is a mirror reflecting your numeral makeup. It is a mirror reflecting back to you the energy you hold within. Your vibe attracts your life, and the trinity that makes up your vibration are thoughts, inner speech, and actions. Enhance these, and your internal coding rises into more harmonious codes. This translates into a more pleasant reflection in the outer world, which is but a mirror. We change the world by changing ourselves. That's a quote from the Buddha. Be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. The golden vibration is what overcomes the world. Christ consciousness is the vibration that rearranges all outer events into harmony. You might say, Alex, this sounds very nice and all, but is it based in reality? After all, none of us want to waste time on false paradigms. You know it's true because we have encountered the same principle in its negative vibration. Many of us are in a continual loop of being stuck in a rut, where no matter what we do, no matter how hard we struggle or grind, we find ourselves right back where we started. Again, the grains of sand will always rearrange themselves to conform with the vibration. The same is true with the events in life. They always revert to match our frequency. If our internal frequency is a negative or 666, no matter how hard we grind, our surrounding will, one way or another, always fall back into resonance. As we begin to raise our vibration, the coding influencing our lives begins to shift to get closer and closer to the golden ratio. When we sufficiently raise our vibration, we enter this golden stream, and life takes us on a grand adventure. It is within this golden current where we begin to experience positive synchronicities. Good luck is attracted to us, and life becomes blissful. The opposite would be a tarnished vibration, where everything in life goes wrong and falls apart, no matter how hard you try. Imagine fighting against the grains of sands to individually place them into a harmonious pattern, while a negative vibration is running through the cymatics plate. Your work would always be undone, and it becomes self-defeating. We gain command of life through the harnessing of vibration, not through changing each individual circumstance in our life. We change our vibe, and the circumstances in our lives change of their own accord to match our frequency. That is the effortless way. So how do we raise our vibration? We'll get to that in a moment. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Putting numbers aside, simply raising our vibration causes the numerology behind our vibration to shift into more harmonious arrangements. We don't need to focus on numbers. Simply know that the numeral coding shifts according to the rise and fall of our energy. Good vibes create better codes, and vice versa. Negative vibes create negative codes. This information is filtered into the electromagnetic field, which attracts into our life accordingly. Specific arrangements of numbers, which form codes, give rise to what we see manifest in the world. Of course, we don't see these numbers in reality, just like we don't see the coding which is behind a website. However, what we do see is their expression. And the expression of the 369 is the expression of the divine, or the golden energy. The 369 is the energy, frequency, and vibration of the golden ratio. The golden ratio, or Fibonacci sequence, also known as the fingerprint of God, is a perfect unraveling of numbers leading to beauty and harmony in creation. In other words, things in nature which have the Fibonacci sequence grow and expand in perfect ratios and equilibrium. When we have this energy present within us, it causes our lives to unravel with divine symmetry. Vadim Zeland, the author of Transurfing Reality, calls this phenomenon the wave of fortune. Things endowed with the 369 have the golden ratio. They have the golden energy, frequency, and vibration. In other words, they have the hand of Midas, and everything they touch and do prospers. Their life is patterned after a divine code which unravels with order and symmetry. This is how order out of chaos is established. The frequency of the 369 in cymatics is shown as a third eye symbol. 369 is the God frequency. It is the golden generative principle. It is the G in the middle of the Masonic symbol. When thoughts, inner speech, and action line up with the inner vision, we have entered into a vibrational state in which the pineal gland, the inner eye, awakens and creates into reality. The pyramid cap has always represented God and the all-seeing eye. which causes such powerful waves into surrounding reality that it begins to shift and rearrange itself into the vision we hold within. People with this vibration attract the good things in life effortlessly. The secret is that within they hold a golden energy, which is lifeward, which attracts all good things of life. So how do we also get this golden energy within us and express a divine unraveling of life? The Trinity is the answer. When mind, speech, and action align around a specific goal, momentum begins to generate itself and our vibration begins to rise as we stay the course. Our thoughts, inner speech, and actions need to be rooted in the golden rule of doing unto others what we want done to ourselves. Remember that we reap what we sow, that the world reflects back into our lives what we put out. Positive actions, thinking, and inner speech in line with the golden rule causes us to raise our numerical coding, which expresses itself into a better life experience. But there is one secret above others on how to raise your vibration immensely and become an optimist. The secret is binding the ouroboros. The 369 or golden vibration is one that is slippery to all but the people who have grown spiritually. And there is no other thing which causes spiritual and conscious growth more than harnessing sexual energy. Semen retained in the body goes upwards to nourish the brain, rendering the body robust and the memory and intellect sharp. Sexual energy is literally brain food, causing us to bear good fruit. Intelligence, wisdom, discernment, patience, virtue, and so on. Possessing the qualities of the divine allows us to hold onto the golden vibration when the winds of adversity arises. When life throws negative circumstances at us, it is easier for those who have grown spiritually to resist and avoid them. Think of a surfer who is enjoying a good wave. Life is good and enjoyable, but then the wave rises to extreme heights and becomes turbulent. Your fear begins to rise and the risks increase. Only the best of surfers can ride these turbulent waves with ease and style. RENÉE GARCIA is one such person who through trial and error has perfected the art of transurfing reality. In other words, through implementing lifestyle boundaries, keeping her on the straight and narrow, she has created a structured lifestyle that allows her to continuously ride the wave of fortune and manifest her desired reality. I left a link to her channel. Check her out because she does a tremendous work of breaking down the extensive work of Vadim Zeeland. Sexual energy is a potent energy which can be directed into manifesting our realities when it is not wasted. For us gentlemen, semen retention binds the electric circuit within, allowing the continual flow and absorption of sexual energy. Within man is a powerful electrical current. Ancient civilizations documented this energy as serpents, making art and allegories that would stand the test of time. We may lose languages, but symbols are eternal. Semen retention causes us to close the circuit of Kundalini energy and create a continual flow of energy, forever feeding the mind, body, and influencing our affairs. One such deity which harnessed sexual energy, perfected the trinity of mind, speech, and actions, and broke free from the matrix is Ahura Mazda from Zoroastrianism. In this beautiful relief, we see him holding the ring of power as he shatters and breaks through the barriers of the matrix, which keeps people enslaved to the system. The ring of power represents the ouroboros. The ouroboros, which is a tail-eating serpent, represents the continual renewal of energy through the practice of harnessing sexual energy. Remember, serpents in the ancient world have always represented energy. Ahura Mazda harnessed this energy to enlighten himself, raise his vibration, and break the fuck out of this limiting matrix. Amisha Spenta refers to the great 7 divine entities emanating from Ahura Mazda. In Zoroastrian tradition, these are the first 7 emanations of the uncreated creator, through whom all subsequent creation was accomplished. Amesha spenta represents a good moral quality that mortals should strive to obtain. Thus, the doctrine of the Great Seven is that through good thoughts, words, and deeds, each individual should endeavor to assimilate the qualities of Amesha spenta into oneself. The 7 Amesha spentas represent the 7 chakras of man. These 7 chakras within man, or energy centers, are the fruits of the spirit spoken of in Christianity. Sometimes man is represented as having 9 or more chakras. These chakras are fueled and grown through the harnessing of sexual energy. Like grapes on a vine, the more sexual energy flows through the spine, the more nourishment they gain. The more they are nourished, the more we grow spiritually. When you acquire the golden ratio and through having undergone spiritual growth are able to maintain it, your life unfolds with symmetry and you break free from limiting systems that seek to keep you confined in an ideal environment to extract your energy for their purposes. This is how Manu broke free from the world and was brought to Mount Meru, to a good life. The story of Manu holding on to the fish, which kept growing until it saves and brings him to Mount Meru, the earthly paradise, by the use of a serpent, personifies self-empowerment through growing our sexual energy. While everyone else was drowning in the hardships of life, because Manu had risen his sexual energy, as personified as the growing fish he held on to, he was leisurely above it all, being brought to a paradise. Raising his sexual energy caused his overall energy to rise. The ouroboros, or continual harnessing of sexual energy for self-empowerment, is seen here in this relief as being harnessed to awaken the inner eye, the all-seeing and creative eye. The bird in the center represents the pineal gland. The opened wings represent an awoken pineal gland. Notice on the staff of Hermes, sexual energy rises to awaken the inner eye, symbolized as the bird with wings opened. The ouroboros, the ring of power, is sexual energy harnessed into the inner eye of man, which empowers him to make his vision a reality. When the inner eye awakens, we connect to our higher selves, and wisdom, intuition, and guidance begins to flow, all leading us towards our destination. If you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, then you would have the key to the universe. Man is a microcosm of the universe. The Norse world tree encodes the 3, 6, 9 and the secrets of harnessing sexual energy into a perpetual ouroboros, or an endless energy circuit of good energy within ourselves. The interpretation is that the world tree is a macrocosm representing the spine of man, which when sexual energy flows through it, it brings enlightenment. This is seen clearly in the depiction of the Buddha wearing a bright halo while seated before a tree. As a tree absorbs water from its roots to produce fruit, so do we absorb sexual energy from our root chakra to nourish the fruit of the mind, the pineal gland. With a healthy and nourished pineal gland, we create reality with ease. So we absorb sexual energy, the 3, which rises through the lower chakras, the 6, to the higher chakras, the 9, for empowerment and vibrancy of life. Many sages taught semen retention fills us with light and empowerment. Nikolas Tesla practiced celibacy. The way he was able to create the inventions he did was by harnessing sexual energy. He often went to lectures held by Swami Vivekananda, where he learned that sexual energy is a gigantic empowerment for the mind and body. His attitude towards sex and women worried his friends, who believed he compared women to the biblical Delilah, capable of stripping him of his intellectual power and focus. In previous videos, I've shown the resemblance in between a cell of sperm and a follicle of hair, and why ancient sages always wear their hair long. Hair and semen look similar, and so growing one's hair was an esoteric way of conveying that one is practicing brahmacharya, the art of growing sexual energy through celibacy. When asked about sex, Nikola Tesla said, I recognize the importance that sex plays in the life of men. Nature has made its attraction irresistible to ensure the perpetuity of the race. As for myself, I have found that the thinkers confronted with the problem of perpetuating either the species or the mind. It is almost impossible, at least in certain realms of high endeavor, to do both. This has been recognized by the Hindus, whose adepts practice complete sexual abstinence, and by many of the great religions. In the Christian depiction of the origin story, we see that Adam, Eve, and the fruit of knowledge, which enlightens the mind, is also the 369 in allegorical form. The 3 and the 6 represent the dualistic energy of the male and female, merging to create the 9. The fruit of knowledge. The serpent is sexual energy rising to activate the pineal gland, the all-knowing and wise eye. The pyramid is also a pinnacle. Within man, the pineal gland is that pinnacle, and many times in allegories and parables, the pyramid represents the all-knowing eye, the inner eye of man, which is a lantern to the spiritual world, while sexual energy is the oil or electrical current which lights it up. Notice in his equation that the 3, 6, and 9 traced out form a pyramid. A pyramid is an ancient architectural feat which dealt with earthly and cosmic energy. In other words, it's an invention that spreads positive energy, creating a bubble-like atmosphere of pure energy, which is lifeward and influences positive growth to all under. The pyramid would create a force field bubble of positive energy, infusing everything with good vibes. It did so by pulling energy from the earth and attuning it to the 369. Today, these energetic domes are down, and the result is people living in less than desired conditions, when all should be thriving. We have this same bubble surrounding us, the electromagnetic field. The pyramids are a reverse engineering of this, in my opinion. The pyramid is a symbol used to represent the pineal gland, the all-seeing eye. And notice that the 369, when placed as the frequency on a cymatics plate, forms another symbol used to depict a third eye. The missing capstone of the pyramid is the pineal gland, and the 369 of Tesla philosophy. The word pyramid translates to fire amid, or fire within. This fire in man is Kundalini energy, and encoded within is the golden energy of the 369. When we are baptized with this holy fire, life transforms itself from the inside out. It burns away and incinerates all negative vibration and instills within us peace and harmony. When this energy within rises through the heart to the pineal gland, it infuses our electromagnetic field with life and vibrancy, which then attracts all good things to ourselves. In other words, an awoken pineal gland is the result of us harnessing golden energy. This energy, like the pyramid which draws from subterranean sources, is found in mankind's lower endocrine glands, the sexual organs which produce sexual energy. The dove surrounding the ouroboros is another visual representation of the 369, representing the pineal gland having consumed sexual energy. The ouroboros serpent represents sexual energy, while the bird represents the pineal gland. The opened wings represent the awakening of the inner eye. In scripture, we are told to be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. This wisdom comes from inspiration and can be tapped into by harnessing spiritual energy from semen retention. The saying itself is dualistic, which brings unity and peace to life. It is the fulfilled law, the golden rule. When the circuit is closed, perpetual energy is generated. When we connect the head and tail of the ouroboros by becoming practitioners of harnessing sexual energy, man and woman create a perpetual source of energy within themselves, which can be directed to create reality through channeling it into thoughts, inner speech, and actions, all in line with our goal. The Vitruvian Man of Leonardo da Vinci occults this truth. The circle of life surrounding the man is an energetic one. It is the circle of the electromagnetic field which oscillates according to our vibration. This is our Wi-Fi connection, broadcasting to the world how it should react and arrange itself. Life corresponds to our vibration. Life is a mirror and only reflects. We reap what we sow. The same concept of the Vitruvian Man is within the 369 diagram of Nikola Tesla. The 3 represents serpentine sexual energy, while the 6 and 9 represents its flow through the higher and lower portions of man. Semen is power. It is life force and an electric current vitalizing man. Our spirits is the breath of God. And little by little, we grow or diminish our spirits based on our actions. Our spirits, like the ouroboros, the tail-eating serpent, can renew its energy. Certain actions drain our energy, while other actions add to our energy. Some actions connect us to a source of electrical power, while other actions disconnect us. Some individuals have closed the sacred circuit of the ouroboros within themselves, while in others it remains disconnected and withering away. Some vacillate by always connecting and disconnecting this current of energy. How can we become like the wise man who puts principle over passion and stay connected to this potent source of serpentine energy? How do we defeat the urges of the serpent and, like the caduceus of Hermes, harness this potent virile energy? Knowledge helps us with relapsing. Knowing the potential of this electrical energy and its transformative potential is reason enough to close the circuit. Once you realize how precious a substance it is, you will realize what a deceitful lie that masturbating daily is healthy. When you desire to accomplish something in life or fulfill a desire, you will see the value in this energy and refrain from wasting it, knowing that if directed towards your goals, nothing could stand in your way. The ouroboros is the visual interpretation of the 369. Notice the energy of the 3, 6, and 9 are contained within this closed circuit. We bind the ouroboros by retaining our sexual energy and allowing it to grow, which empowers us to stop wasting our power of thought, speech, and actions on practices that do not perpetuate this energy, but disperse it on wasteful things. When we get distracted, this energy is funneled and wasted away into fruitless endeavors, when instead this energy harness could be put towards thoughts, speech, and deeds in line with our goal. 8 sideways is the twisted ouroboros. The 2 sides represent duality, while the knot or meeting point represents the merging of duality for the divine. A real-life example of this duality merging to create would be male and female at each end of polarity, while an infant at the singularity point is the result of merging these dualistic natures into one. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. You are an electric being. A human's energy is filtered through the electromagnetic field. The electromagnetic field is a bubble around a human being. Frequency and vibration based on an individual real-time emotion, which is energy in motion, filters into this field. This field projects this energetic code into the world. The world is only reflecting the energy we hold within. Life is a ripple projecting outwards, and we ourselves are the center, projecting our vibration into all layers of reality. If you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, then you would have the key to the universe. When we harness the energy of the divine, the 3, 6, 9, we obtain the golden vibration, which echoes outwards through all of creation to bring harmony and structure. If you made it this far in the video, you may as well subscribe for more content. Make sure to like, comment, and share the video. This really helps grow the channel. For exclusive videos, ebooks, and more, check out my Patreon. All links are in the description. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.